known radio host and the creator and host of the show Road Patrol Live, someone who's followed this case from the very beginning, our friend John DePetro. John, good morning to you. I want to ask you, please, about the clips. You know, I love following you on social media, and you've been saying that, in your opinion, these clips are having quite an impact in round 2 with this new jury. Would you share with us why you say that, please?
Absolutely. And Julie, and first of all, I apologize the casual dress. We were on fugitive task force this morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
In court,
Did you catch anybody?
I can't reveal until after they go through, because there's undercover people involved and so forth. But anyhow, and I will be in the courthouse and in the courtroom next week. What is so significant, and you just saw it, and that was a no comment, nothing to Matt Johnson from Karen Reed. And Julie, 1 week ago, there she was strolling out saying, come at me and bring it on. And a week later, suddenly she is saying nothing. What I am hearing is this is just devastating inside the courtroom. And how can it not be? That last clip, Julie Grant, you just played, I mean, someone complaining about a weak pour, that is something that you hear from most of the time from people that have some kind of a drinking problem. The fact that she would say that, on film just is beyond imagination. But what I am hearing right now is not only is this having impact, these clips that Hank Brennan has put in, and as someone said, it does kind of act like a commercial break where suddenly everybody tunes in to watch the latest Karen Reed clip. What is so damaging, not only is it making an impression on the jury, and remember, she's sitting there silently and they're hearing her speak in these ways, and it's so derogatory and it's so negative. But on top of that, I'm hearing it's having an effect on the defense team. Nobody likes to be in a losing team. This is a group that have been together for a very long time. They spent a lot of time together. I'm hearing this, and it's very uncomfortable. There's a lot of finger pointing that's starting to go on. There's a lot of uncomfortable conversations and behavior in the hallways, outside the courtroom. I'm not sure how there couldn't be. Julie, not only are these clips taking a toll on the jury and on the case, I believe, and I'm hearing, and I can't wait to witness it, but it's having an impact on Karen Reed and her relationship with her defense team. Now, I can't believe I'm about to say that, but in defense of Karen, what I'm about to say, defense of Karen Reed, as much as people are saying, why was she talking and why was she doing this? As you know, this was green-lighted by the defense team. This was part of their strategy. We're going to put this out. We're going to taint the jury pool. They thought, as many people are asking, why would she say these things? They thought this was going to be the victory lap. They thought they were going to be successful last spring. They thought by the time people were going to see this, that they were going to be long gone. That's not what's happened. Now, people need to understand, Tuesday was opening arguments. Yesterday, Karen Reed said, well, everybody's tired. I mean, that's not something you want to say as you are barely limping to the finish line in the first week. Right. Without question. Right. There's no way the Reed defenders can say that this has gone the way they wanted. As I had predicted, the Karen Reed clips that Hank Brennan is using, Julie, it is stealing the show because it's so captivating. It's her words. I also just want to make mention of Peg O'Keefe. I know some people want to say, well, Peg O'Keefe, and she never liked Karen, or however people want to try to explain it away. What makes Peg O'Keefe, who I've interacted with, who is absolutely the picture of grace and class, how she has handled herself. I remember being on with you at one of the earlier hearings and mentioning that Hank Brennan had developed a very strong rapport with Peg O'Keefe. That can't be faked. That was real. The jurors are not only were they moved by seeing Peg O'Keefe, not only did they watch Karen Reed totally mock her in that manner, which is why Alan Jackson wanted to keep it out, but every day now, Peg O'Keefe is sitting prominently right there, right behind the show, right over the shoulder of Karen Reed, as a reminder to the jurors. And Julie, Peg O'Keefe is going to be in that courtroom, as you know, throughout the entire trial. I think this has been a disastrous first week for the defense of Karen Reed.
John DePetro, excellent insight you're sharing there. So many great points you just made. We see Peggy O'Keefe in the courtroom this morning. Our photographer just had to direct away from the main area of the courtroom for now. They had a quick sidebar, so we have a couple minutes to keep on talking here. I want to go back and play two of the clips that were played yesterday for the jury. Let's take a look at the first one, and we'll talk on the other side.
I mean, I'm not as clear as I would be if I hadn't been drinking. I mean, I had drank, so, and that led me to question, like, could I have hit him? Did I run over his foot or hit him in the knee? Did I incapacitate him?
Okay, John, to your point earlier about drinking. So from the prosecution's perspective, this case is a homicide by vehicle while DUI. In any DUI prosecution, it's a fair question. Anytime a prosecutor gets a DUI case, I handled many of them as a prosecutor, you wonder, is there a drinking problem with the defendant? And we don't know here. John, I want to shout you out. I've shouted you out before, you know, when you weren't on this program. But you were the only reporter at trial number 1 asking about whether there was a drinking problem. I can remember you saying when it came out that she had 9 drinks in a 3-hour period, none of the media asked anything about it. You were the only one, and she wouldn't answer you. So now that the world is seeing these clips, her voice, all of it, I'm wondering, John, do you think this might prompt her to want to even talk more, dare I say it, even get up there on the stand and explain what she said in those clips?
Julie, I think that this is where it is leading. I think, and again, I know not everyone follows it as closely as we do, but I think she's already digging a hole that Karen Reed, who loves to be treated as a celebrity, as Paul O'Keefe said, she turned it into the Karen Reed show from the jump. I believe this is building towards that she may demand to get on the stand. And one of the clips that they played that is, it's so bizarre, and it's hard to believe, is this someone that's recanting a spring break? Or, I mean, she was saying this to a film crew while she's on trial. This was all the behind the scenes. Now, granted, the footage wasn't necessarily used, but they had shot the footage, and then it appeared in Body in the Snow. But she goes through this bizarre explanation where she's counting the type of drinks, and they had a weak pour, and I put one in, so that's really just 2 drinks, and then it's 3 and 4. I mean, this is not the type of thing you want to say when people are questioning, were you in your right mind when you were driving that vehicle? So I did ask that. The day it came out, I said, Karen, did you have 9 drinks? I think it's one of those things that it's a story that has not been covered enough, and I'm going to point my finger at the Boston media, because this is someone, through the text that came in yesterday, I thought that was very effective. The text messages she keeps mentioning, she's going for a drink. She is incessantly calling John O'Keefe, and he has to just hang up. She just continues to bother him, text him. I don't think enough has been drawn to that. This certainly seems to be the pattern of someone that's seemingly had an issue with alcohol.
And no one's asking the questions.
And no one's asking the questions.
Except for you. Except for you, John DePetro.
When someone
she didn't
saying,
answer you, but you asked, and it's on camera.
I did.
You are so courageous and so brave and above reproach.
Think of this defense, Julie, of when someone is saying, well, I didn't have 9 drinks, I had 7 or 8. That's not much of a defense. And it goes back to where they're humbling, Nutley. She didn't say I hit him 3 times. She only said it twice. As I have mentioned, she said she would have cheered for O.J. Simpson to get off.
You asked her about that too. No, I love it. I love it. You're so gutsy. You're so gutsy. It's awesome. John, we got more questions for you. We're going to hit our first break. Stand by. Kindly, please. We'll be right back.